We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230, KGEO, 1410, KERI. Now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM, and now in Richmond, Oakland, and the San Francisco Bay Area. That's kind of exciting, Clay, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Our guest by phone, comedian and author Elizabeth Imus-Zero. So I want to talk a little more about your book, but before we go there, you're actually a stand-up comedian, and you got your start in on Second City?
Well, no, I was doing stand-up before I went to Second City, but yes, I graduated from both Second City and the Groundling School of Improv and Sketch Comedy, and right now I'm doing some improv over at UCB, which is the Upright Citizens Brigade. I just love to be on stage. It's fun. But I don't actually do stand-up anymore. I do some hosting for stuff like that. But, I just got kind of tired of going out to clubs midnight, getting hit on by drunk comedians, sort of like, ugh. I don't think so, pal.
Yeah, Clay's had that same problem.
Yeah.
No, I was the drunk comedian.
One of the things you talked about in the book kind of cracked me up. You talked about etiquette blunders on the air, and I got to preface this with two that I've made. One here on this show. We've been on the show now, about 3.5 years, Clay?
Yeah.
We had Ray Stevens on, and I called him
Ray Charles.
And
more than once.
It's not even funny, you guys. I'm like, you guys are the first of the day, so I've got your names down, but like by my fifth radio interview today, I'll be like, I get names mixed up, and I literally I do it all the time. I call people the wrong name. It's so embarrassing.
Well, if you call people Clay and Marty the rest of the day, we're fine with that. We have no problem.
I will. I'll totally plug you guys.
And the other big mistake I can remember making, I can remember being on KFI as a guest down in Los Angeles years and years ago, and then I had to go to another station across town where I was guest hosting for a friend of mine, and right in the middle of it, live radio, I used the call letters and number for KFI on the station.
Oh, nice.
So they got a lot of calls
so
about
awesome.
that. Did not go over well. So you've got dreams of being Amish, I understand.
Amish? Well, no, I had a dream. Yeah, that was in my Q&A. I don't even remember what the question was, but yeah, people often ask me, like, are your parents normal? And I'm like, not really. So I did have dreams of maybe growing up in a normal family as a child, or just something that was a little less insane. My parents rode motorcycles, and they're kind of out there. I mean, they really were very responsible, nice people, but just a little batty.
Well, it's funny. All the years we've been doing this, Don Imus's name has never come up. And interestingly enough, our next guest is a former congressman, and a lot of the material we've gotten is off of some interviews he did with your dad.
Oh, right on. Yeah, my dad does a lot of interviews with politicians, so he's really good at what he does. And I actually watch him a lot and learn from him, and he's given me some good advice, over the phone and stuff like that, so good.
Now, he's got a brother that's also in radio, doesn't he?
Yes, that was my Uncle Fred. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. But yes, he was an amazing man, and it's really sad. We really miss him a lot. But yeah, he was definitely on the radio and very well liked and loved by so many people.
You can see that I'm really up on things.
I know, right? It's cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's good, Clay. Clay asked a good question.
No,
you're taking care of business. Whose business? We don't know.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth, the great thing is he's normally not awake through the whole interview process, but you've kept him awake the whole, the last 13 minutes. That's quite an achievement on your part.
Oh, right on. Well, I like to do my part,
Hey, Elizabeth, where, without being specific, but what part of the country do you live in?
I live in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like an hour and a half from here?
Los Angeles, isn't that a liberal city?
Yeah, well, where I live, yeah, it's super liberal. It's crazy. But it is really nice weather usually, although it is starting to sprinkle today, so it's kind of interesting. We're getting a little rain, which we don't normally see, but normally it's like 72 degrees every single day.
That's because you live close to the beach.
I do, yeah.
Yep.
Well, might as well ask for her specific address while we're at it.
Yeah, for all my stalkers out there. I have etiquette for stalkers out there, by the way, too. So.
Is that another chapter?
It sounds like you could write etiquette for anything.
Yeah, you really can. If you think you can sit down and, it's the things that annoy you in life, and it's a great way to vent.
Well, they've got those 1-minute books. If you remember those. 1 minute?
No, she's not that old, Clay.
Oh, well, there's a lot of 1 minute books. 1 minute this, 1 minute that. Well, you could write 1 minute etiquette on being a bum, or 1 minute etiquette on being a politician, and that'd be a hard one. But I understand you could do it.
Well, here's the first thing you do as a politician: never negotiate, especially if it's your job and you're the president of the United States.
Oh,
because
do
that
we
would
agree
be
with that?
insane.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting political on us?
I'm being sarcastic. How does the president of the United States just to say I'm not negotiating? Isn't that like in his job description, like he's supposed to do that?
We're having a conversation with author, comedian Elizabeth Imus-Zero.
Now, he did say he would negotiate with anybody at any time once they agreed to his rules.
Yeah, and also if you, what is it? Only racists are against his dictatorship.
Well, I guess when you're a liar, you can say anything you want.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
it's driving
incredible.
me nuts.
But what's the name of your book again?
It's Etiquette for Idiots and Other Stupid Stories, and you can go to ImusZero.com, and there's an Amazon link. You can click directly to it to buy the book, or you can read my blog, or you can see pictures of me. And I think there's some bikini pictures even, and I don't know what else. There's all kinds of fun stuff there. There's videos and whatever.
How do you spell Euro?
Zero. It's Z-E-R-O.
Oh,
like
Zero.
Elizabeth Zero. Yeah, there's a Mr. Zero. It's a real name. It's Italian. It's really pronounced Zato, but we just say Zero.
Zeto.
So, since I did a little more homework than Clay did, there was another chapter called Inbred Neighbors.
Yeah.
Talk about inbred neighbors.
Oh man, I had these neighbors who were like cousins, and they were married to each other, and they had a kid. And I'm outside gardening one day, and they show up in my face with like the whole full TV camera crew, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be on my show? I married my cousin." I'm like, sure, why not? So then I'm like, they said, well, what do you think about living next door to married cousins? And I said, well, they can't be too bad. Their kid's not a mongoloid. And the lady yells, cut! She's like, takes me aside, totally serious, and she's like, we're not mentioning that we have a child because we don't want to raise our child in Hollywood. And I was like, listen, lady, that's the most normal thing you could do for this kid right now is raise it in Hollywood. Like, back up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I have to tell you a funny story about that story. I listened to a tape, and I won't mention the name of the radio station, but it was someplace in Missouri, and you told that story, and the guy said, well, we got to be a little careful with that because we do have some people up here in the mountains that wouldn't be that odd of a situation. And I love the look on your face. You didn't know what to say, and you said, "Well, I'm sorry."
I know what
if
you're talking
that's
about.
the
There was a
case.
video. Yeah, they did a video of that. I kept forgetting that I was on camera, so it's always funny. When I was watching that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my God."
It was a great look on your face, like, "Okay, where do I go from here?"
It's true, but that's cool. If you want to marry your cousin, whatever, do whatever you want. Just don't try to get me on your reality TV show, for crying out loud.
So your website is ElizabethZero.com.
Yeah. Elizabeth, like traditionally spelled, and then Z-E-R-O, like the numeral 0.
.com. Okay.
Tell us a little bit about throwing celebrities under the bus. That's something you did for a local station down in L.A.
Well, it's actually for KABC out here, 790 in LA with Doug McIntyre. So it's what I do on radio stations around the country. People call me up regularly, and I'm on just with different various people, and I just talk about what's going on either politically or in pop culture. But for Doug, I do a lot of like celebrities, and so we talk about what's going on with them, and I just make fun of them, or I make fun of myself, just whatever.
You make fun of those people?
Yeah, it's easy. They're easy targets. It gets a little tedious after a while because it's sort of easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, but...
I do that with Marty all the time.
You do?
I make fun of him, yes.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, I'm the brunt of his jokes, and I just sit here and don't defend myself, Elizabeth. I just put up with it. It's
you
just...
two are a match made in heaven, I'm telling you. 2 peas in a pod.
I don't know. If you look at each other, I mean, we couldn't look any different, I mean, I'm the voice of the program. He's the looks of the program, and we're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you guys love each other.
Let's not go there.
No, well,
This is a family show.
Since we're now never mind. I had a perfect line, but I can't use it anymore as of this week.
No, I mean like the way Jesus loves you, like that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, brotherly love.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth, give us the name of the book and your website again where people can get it.
My book is Etiquette for Idiots and Other Stupid Stories, and my website is ImusZero.com.
Great, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for the time. I mean, you're a kick to be with. We'd love to have you on again.
Thanks, guys. I hope you have an awesome day.
You too.
Hey, do I have to go and order your book from Amazon?
Yeah, well, I'll send you a copy on the email, but just order one anyway because, yeah.
That's how you get paid, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I got bills, you guys. Come on.
Hey,
I'm trying to make an honest living here.
Okay. We'll be back in a couple of minutes on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.